welcome back to Mentor Musings. My name is Dennis. As always, I'm joined by JC and Brett. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Outstanding. Hey, guys.
Excellent. Welcome back. So this is called Mentor Answers for this segment. And the question that I have for both JC and Brett is, how important is it for founders to use other founders in business and then startups as a measuring stick to track their success?
JC, I'll let you fire away. I've got some opinions on this.
Yeah. So how important is it? Well, number one, I guess, isn't important. And I would say, yeah, I think it is, something that's worth putting on your dashboard. I mean, is it the key performance indicator? Absolutely not. Even if you have a contemporary in your space, like let's say you launch your business and there's somebody else who's around the, maybe relative time that you launch, plus or minus a year or two or whatever, it's good to put them on your radar, right? Because you're directly competing. Now, how much a founder should try to measure their success against another founder or use that as their benchmark, I think that likely depends, right? If you're talking from a market optics and kind of market knowledge standpoint, I think it's highly advisable. If you're talking about it from like a personal branding or kind of personal efficacy standpoint, I think there's diminishing values there. We've seen time and time again that there's an opportunity for the likes of Bill Gates, there's an opportunity for the likes of Steve Jobs, and there's an opportunity for the likes of Jeff Bezos. And those are three very dynamically different personalities, let alone when we start incorporating, Richard Branson's and Elon Musk's, right? So if you're talking about how do you evaluate yourself personally against another founder personally and how they're doing, I think there's diminishing value. But if you're able to, evaluate the founder in the scope and kind of under the cloak of your venture and their venture, I think there is, some potential value, whether it's around your go-to-market strategy, your fundraising strategy, your product development strategy. There's a lot of proximity knowledge that you can look to gain. And so I would definitely say it is important. I would not bet everything on it. I would not do everything someone else is doing. And I would not deter myself from taking action because it's not something else this other person or other group is doing. But I think it's important to keep on your radar of consideration.
Yeah, and I'll go slightly different tack, but 100% agree, especially if it's in the competitive space, right? Your competitors always keep an eye on them. But, as I've told my three daughters with social media, careful what you read, right? Because I think, Dennis, you had mentioned it even in prior conversations. It's, you're only seeing the good stuff, right? There is no, just like fundraising and we celebrate raises, but man, we have no idea what's going on in the back end of those companies. And I tend to not avoid. It's hard to do, right? If there's other folks in your space and they're all celebrating and doing it, man, but every journey is so different. And I do think it is important to leverage social media to get your story and connect with folks. But man, as I used, I'm going to butcher this expression, but comparison is the thief of joy. And man, as soon as you start measuring up against with not quantifiable metrics, it's really could be dangerous. As JC, you said, keep an eye on it, see what's going out, see what other people are doing and talking about 100%. But I would never compare myself against another founder just based on what I'm seeing on social media, just because you're only seeing the good stuff. LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever it is, right? It can be very dangerous. It's hard, but dangerous. So again, my advice is don't, unless JC said it's a competitive space, it's good to be on your radar. But man, don't wake up in the morning and go, Jesus, they got 2,000 followers. I've only got 300. End of the day, it doesn't matter. Every journey is different, and your outcome and your goal and how you get there, it's just part of the process.
Right, very true. And some things like that could be motivational factors too. You see them grow to X and you want to try to get to Y. So yeah, well, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate both of your answers. Any final thoughts on how to not measure or to measure success on social media, or any ways to either combat that mentally? I mean, sometimes it's a psychological game too that you're trying to battle against, and like what steps are definitely necessary to ensure that you're going to have that mental fortitude to step away from it. Maybe social media might not be for you, even though how important it is to be on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, number one, Brett brings up a really good point. Like social media is kind of the the platform where maybe you're getting a lot of your information. So if you are evaluating yourself against another founder, take everything you see on social media or on their website with a grain of salt. Nobody's creating a blog post about the fact that they just lost their second largest client, and nobody's tweeting how they just had 67 no's during investment pitches, right? Those aren't typical kind of broadcasted messages. So I definitely think there's kind of a lack of kind of complete transparency. There's an opaqueness to what you're seeing on that. So especially on social media, weigh that differently. But again, the one piece of advice I would say, whether you're evaluating yourself against other founders or not, is that success is never a straight line. And there's ups and downs and backwards and forwards. And, by the time you get to the end, it looks like a big ball of mess in the middle. And then hopefully at the end, you end up where you want to go. So, being able to track that journey of yours against someone else's is really, really, really difficult. So again, look for proximity ideas, look for ways that you can learn to make your process smoother. But I think everybody said it is going to be different, and you don't need to evaluate it step by step.
Yeah, and I'll just leave you with one quick example. I had a conversation with a founder this week. Company's bootstrapped. They've taken a slow build to what they want to do. So 3, maybe it's even 4+ years. There is a competitor in the space. There's actually a bunch of competitors, but this one in particular raised over $200 million. Yet they only go head to head with them, a few times. So he already knows, the founder that's bootstrapped, is that they're equally, if not better positioned in the marketplace than somebody that's already raised $200 million in cash or capital to grow the business. So again, don't get caught up by raises. They're great. It gives you, but it's got to be specifically for your business, not in comparison to somebody else. So that actually was just a conversation this week. So Dennis, your timing was good with this question.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, gentlemen, I also want to thank both of you for, joining us this week. And I want to thank all of our viewers and listeners for joining us this week as well. If you liked what you listened to, subscribe, reach out to JC, reach out to Brett. We'd love to hear back from you. We'd love to hear some questions from you as well. So JC, Brett, any final thoughts?
Now, by the way, I don't know if you've mentioned it, Dennis. I know we do online, that you now can find our musings on all your favorite podcast platforms as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, listen to us on Stitcher, on Spotify, on iTunes. We're not just a YouTube podcast anymore. We're
a YouTube sensation.
Encompassing.
Absolutely. Great job, producer Dennis, getting us on all those platforms.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you again, everyone. We hope to see you in the next one. Take care.
All right. See you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.